Yo, it's your boy Karceno, and I'm just telling y'all, man, life is strange. And sometimes you don't stop and take a look and just look at the way things are, man, you just crack up. Boxing fans are the most confused human beings on earth. I'm sitting at work and I just got drugged into some of the most ignorant boxing conversation I ever heard in my life. And I said, well, this guy was defending Manny Pacquiao, black man, of course. I wasn't mad about that. I just wanted to ask reasonable questions. I said, well, not talking about his knockdown percentages. First, he thought Pacquiao was an undefeated fighter. Then I told him it was to his amazement to learn that Pacquiao had been knocked out twice, lost, and then had two draws. So then he says, well, I didn't know all that, but he hasn't lost in a long time, and he's just been blowing through guys. I was like, didn't you just see his last fight? Yeah, I did. And that guy, man, he almost beat him. I said, well, that's the same guy that gave him problems years ago. He hasn't fought another fighter since then. I was like, but don't you think it's kind of strange that those lighter weights he was getting hurt and fatiguing? That now that he's up in this age stage, he's throwing more punches now than he did back when he was a lightweight. And not that he's able to take bigger guys' shots when smaller guys were hurting him. You didn't find that to be odd and strange? Man, everybody gets knocked out. Mike Tyson been knocked out. That was his reply to it. Let you know, this is the level of intelligence, boxing intelligence, you get out in the world. The general public knows nothing. Nothing. That's why it's dangerous. It is really dangerous what people are putting out there on ESPN and all these major networks. So if you don't think it has an effect, try asking the person next to you. Go on the train, ask somebody next to you a boxing question, and they're gonna get, he's scared. I saw the experts on ESPN. They said it too. He's scared. Pacquiao got him scared. He's scared of his right hand. I've actually heard that too. Knew where he got it from. That's why I just tell him, stop watching ESPN. Okay? If you're not logged in, if you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, please don't get involved in the conversation with him. It will only take up a lot of your minutes. Now, I had stayed quiet on this whole negotiation thing. I wanted to die down first before I even make any comments on it. At least publicly. I've talked about it in private before. Uh, I spoke to Roger myself, and I heard from Roger, and I heard from everybody else. And what people don't understand is when they saying, well, Floyd, he said there's no negotiations. There wasn't any negotiations. People don't understand. Look, I don't want to side with Ben Thompson in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to have my name in the same sentence with that guy. But he was telling the truth. Don't know how to tell people anything more than people don't know when someone makes a proposal or offer, that doesn't mean that's a negotiation. If Al Heyman wasn't involved, trust me, that wasn't a negotiation. And if you didn't see Al Heyman, they plainly told you they did not meet with Al Heyman. If they had met with Al Heyman, then you could say, all right, well, no negotiation was in place. Because I'm going to tell you flat out, and Floyd Mayweather probably tell you flat out, and if you heard from the interview, he ain't making a move without Al Heyman. So I'm going to let you know that right now. That should let you know that that was just them making a proposal. And Floyd Mayweather said, well, okay, well, you put something together and run it by Al Heyman and this and that. And everybody's acting like this is a scheduled negotiation for a fight. They're proposing to be a sponsor, well, not a sponsor, but they want to be one of the main contributors to this fight. Like they want their company to win in a bid for this fight. They got investors. They want to be the lead investors on this. There's other companies too. But this thing just got blown out of proportion. They're all making a pitch. This is not a fight negotiation. I don't know. I know people are overzealous for this fight to happen, but they're taking the wrong outlets and they're confusing you. They're turning your knowledge on what you know and what you don't know into trying to make it to appease the fans so people be calm. Oh, well, we're negotiating the fight. We're getting the details down, and we're gonna. Only thing that was agreed upon is Manny Pacquiao said through his team, I will take any test that they want me to take. Floyd and them said, okay, on their side, like, all right, well, that's cool and dandy. That's cool between the two, but you still got the problem of Bob Arum in the middle. If he's the one promoting it, that's cool. But they got an agreement on the sides of he wants to take the test. That's all they really wanted to know on the Mayweather side. You willing to take any test we want to take? So we ain't gonna have no BS if we try to get this done. Now we got a problem with Bob. You got to go to Bob and say, Bob, I want this fight with Floyd Mayweather. That's what Manny got to do. And in case you guys haven't been paying attention to current events, you know, he's telling the public now, he's trying to step up and say, like, really want this fight. So it's up to Bob to make the fight. So if you don't see that fight in May, what you got to do is start boycotting these top-ranked fights. Don't go to see the Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao ain't fighting Mayweather. You know Arum is the reason it didn't get made. Don't pay to see it. I've never told anybody don't pay for a fight in my life. But why would you pay to see the fight you didn't want to see? If you know if it's not getting made, you know who the guy that doesn't want the fight made. He's shown you ample times it is him. It's always been Bob who don't want to make this fight. He's not the head promoter here. Okay, he's getting an assistant fee. Okay, it's going to be a pretty penny. I mean, it's 20 mil, but to Bob, that's not what he wants. So to him, he's like, it's a side deal to him. He cares about his money, the money he generates off his pay-per-view fights. So he's getting the 30 to 40s to 50 millions. Why do you think you never saw De La Hoya Trinidad 2? Because Trinidad lost, and Bob had De La Hoya. Oh, Trinidad didn't lose, but De La Hoya lost, and Bob had De La Hoya, and the fight didn't get made because he didn't want to pay Trinidad what he was worth. Trinidad said, okay, now give me $20 million. You mean to tell me it wasn't $20 million in the fight? Bob made more money than both of them put together. De La Hoya got like 20, Trinidad got 10, Bob made like 40 off that fight. And he bragged about it, how he made all the money off the fight. And Don King is like, okay, well, let's switch it around. Then you put your names on the contract where ours was, and we put our name where yours was last fight. And of course, you know, Don didn't mean that initially, but he was pissed because they got screwed in the first fight just to make the fight. They underpaid Trinidad what he was worth. And now in the second fight, and he's like, okay, now I'm worth the money. I proved I'm worth the money. People want to see this fight. Let's fight again. Bob didn't give you the fight, did he? Did he give you Gamboa Lopez? No, he didn't. He kept feeding you along. Oh, we got to wait till it's real juicy. It's got to be really juicy. And when people still want to see that fight. People still want to see Lopez and Gamboa fight. I don't care what anybody say. People still want to see that fight. They got to know who's the best between those two. Just because Walmart lost don't mean he can't beat Gamboa. Because I still think he knocks Gamboa flat out on his back. But that's another story and another day and time. And this Amir Khan debacle, I told you this is just the beginning. And I told y'all what was going on behind the scenes. You know, both guys spent the whole night in the hospital, too. Both of them were in the hospital for like almost the entire day the next day. Khan, with his hand, was severely swollen, his right hand, and his ear was got the cauliflower ear. Lamont has some swelling. They had to go in immediately for tests after the press conference. And Billy Hunter is thinking like I'm thinking. They're not trying to make a rematch without them getting screwed over. Okay, they like, look, man, I'm not screwing nothing up here. We gonna make this as official as possible. I'm not trying to screw my thing up. If it makes business sense, we'll do the rematch. But if it don't make business sense, we're not gonna rush into something just because they want to see it. They want it to happen. Now they setting dates, May 19th. I told you Golden Boy was working like crazy, like after this fight to try to get a rematch done. Amir Khan's trying to get them to change the verdict, change the decision. Not gonna happen, dog. You can forget that one. You can hang that up. Then they wanted me to get on this boxing bell thing. I didn't even need to. They put that, everybody else 78 blood, they put that in perspective. They took care of that. Now, this is what Boxing Bell, I don't think she understood. I got to explain this to her. Even if you whispered the word or you said the word backwards, you don't understand. Even if you were saying a quote from somebody else, you are not allowed to say the N-word. Let me get the white handbook out for you. This is the white book. The white handbook. All right. White handbook. Rule number 7 on the white handbook states, never say the N-word where you can be recorded on anything, audio or video, ever. You say the word only in private. And make sure you are private. Okay, now in your white manual, it tells you that. Don't ever do that. Okay, you screwed yourself up by saying that. Even though you were saying it as a quote, there's some you don't know. So a lot of people have made that mistake thinking it was cool to say, and it just isn't. Okay, so just take it as a learning lesson. And what you should have did was just say, I was saying the quote and this and that. Your video coming out saying, well, I never said it. That made it even more. You just really threw some gasoline on the fire there. Because now it's like you're throwing it in people's face like people were ignorant. And they took it the wrong way. And just was a bad look. So just for your future references, for your future videos, whatever you do, you don't ever drop no N-word again. Matter of fact, try to erase that out your vocabulary, no matter how cool your UK black people friends are. I'm telling you, it's cool to say around it. Not cool to say on no internet. So, with that being said, we move on. And what's on with let's fight. Oh yeah, Andre Ward. Carl Froch is doing all this talking. And Froch is okay. He's not that good. I had Glenn Johnson beating you. The reason why the fight was close and you did something you didn't normally do. You fought back. Normally you just shell up. Andre Ward, only thing he needs to do to beat him is jab. If he jabs, he beats Carl Froch. Froch doesn't know how to roll from a punch. He doesn't know how to get away from a jab. So I don't know what he's going to do. I'm just as intrigued to see what the outcome of the fight would be. Froch is really good. He loves to throw a sneaky right hand when he's like throwing feints with his shoulders. That's a real sneaky right hand, but I think Ward can take him. Ward is really a big guy fighting down at a lower weight class because he was too small to fight at 174. So I gotta go. This video's getting too long, but I just wanted to share some light with y'all because of the simple fact my PC was down, it's still down, and I didn't get a chance to make a couple of videos in a while. So I want to give y'all a full video of a lot of stuff that's going on. It's a lot of more stuff that's in the makings that I'm working on right now. We're going to elaborate more on why Freddie Roach fighters cannot fight on the inside when Freddie Roach was an inside fighter himself. What's the problem, Freddie? We're going to address that next.